deck here, and it's really all been one driver. That's the one on your screen right now. Mateus Morgado has been your quickest so far through the week. The AM Racing Engines X3 driver, super fast here this weekend. Again, a good warm-up race last week. He and Diego Ramos, who will join him on the outside of row number 1, were dominant in the Brazilian National Championships about a month and a half ago. Then both of them were out of the seat as Allison driver inside the first 3 rows we haven't chatted with yet this weekend. Bruckner rolls off to the outside of row 3 with Jeremy Fletcher to the inside, and well run, John. Let's take us through the rest of our starting lineup here row by row.
It is Ryan Vincent. Ryan Vincent up next in the 332. Matthew Cousineau will roll off in the 397. Next row, it's going to be Blake Nash alongside of Jack Jeffers, Donovan Bonilla, and John Lucas Evangelio will roll off next, along with Daniel Ali and Thomas Naviu.
Yeah, Thomas Naviu, of course, a lot of work to do. Had that wreck in heat number 1 on the final lap after contact with his teammate. Kind of a big skirmish. Blake Nash involved, Gian Lucas Evangelio involved, ultimately Thomas Naviu, the driver that ended up the ultimate, not benefactor, the ultimate, the worst out of it. Ended up with a DNF. Then goes into heat number 2, ends up going over the top of the front bumper of another driver. So he starts about midway through. Again, if he gets into the top 10, he's got an outside shot. He needs these guys to battle with Mateus Morgado. We will see if that is going to be a possibility here. Right. Turn 1, and Ramos gets the jump on it. Morgado will lose the lead.
Boy, he sure did.
Whoa, and that was an even start, too. Morgado didn't get jump started by Diego Ramos. Ramos just caught him lacking a little bit. I think Morgado maybe bottled it up, and we got a couple together in the back. Jeremy Fletcher's involved. Oh, Jeremy Fletcher gets turned around in turn number 3, and that'll take one of the hotshot juniors moving into senior, the rookie, out of contention. It is now Ramos, Morgado, DeTulio, Marian Kremers is next in line.
Guess we'll have to keep an eye on both DeTulio and Kremers. Don't think there'll be any issues there, but nonetheless, those guys did have a little bit of an incident yesterday. Meantime, now they're running nose to tail, one another. Meanwhile, here comes Diego Ramos. Ramos out in front. Morgado in second. DeTulio third. Kremers in fourth. Nick Bruckner out a spot. Another great run so far already for Nick.
Pass for the lead. Morgado gets through on Diego Ramos. Nice move there by Mateus Morgado. Quickly goes by on Ramos. He knows that DeTulio is close here. DeTulio closed up at the end of heat number 3, or heat number 2, so he was feeling pretty confident to end his Friday. And as they work their way through the infield bus stop, here they come. DeTulio looking, not going to go. Bruckner going to go, though. Nick Bruckner side by side, not able to get clear on Marian Kremers. That was back for 4. So Kremers hangs on to the spot. Bruckner still P5.
Look at your crew now. All of a sudden they had a little breakaway, started racing together, and everybody else has managed to make their way up onto the back bumper. Boy, looks like Jack Jeffers is having a tough time. He's way back down the list here. But Morgado, he's been the class of the field so far. This weekend, see if he's able to hang on as they come racing down, once again coming through the bus stop.
Yeah, Mateus Morgado now starting to edge that lead out a little bit. I thought DeTulio would have gone on Ramos last time right here coming out of the bus stop. He looked close enough, decided not to. So the Paralyn USA driver still a little bit more ground to be made up. Marian Kremers having pulled away from Nick Bruckner's. Got a little bit of a gap now in 4th and 5th. Big gap back, I believe that's Blake Nash who has come the order, and he's got to the 6th. So nice work forward for Blake Nash, as that's just outside of the top group here. Here battling for second. DeTulio not close enough still, a cart length away. Kremers still right there. And again, then back to Nick Bruckner, P5.
Along with Mateus Oliveira also up 8 positions as you look further back into the group. Also, Justin White sitting in that 10th position, up 7 spots. Still, though, out in front, Morgado, Ramos, DiTilio, Kremers, and Bruckner, your top 5 as they come racing back by the start finish once again.
Yeah, here they come down to 1. Evenly spaced out here in the top group. And, I don't know if we'll see too much here. They all seem pretty evenly matched. Morgado remains as the leader. We're going to take a look back. I'd like to see if we can get those cameras down a little bit further back. Just saw Thomas Neveau come into frame, so he's up a number of positions into the top 10. Great start for Thomas Neveau. We'll try and pick him up somewhere here on the racetrack. Looks like he is up to 6th and closing in on Nick Bruckner. So what a topsy-turvy week it has been for the Canadian, Thomas Neveau. But there he is, into the shot, just coming through there behind Bruckner. That's the group of 3, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, headed to the final corner.
Without a doubt, his determination has been unparalleled. It's taken every bit. Stretched out to 9/10 of a second lead. Looking back down the list here, Nauvoo, as I mentioned, in the 6th spot. Ryan Vincent in 7th. Blake Nash now up into the 8th position. Matthew Cousineau, another Canadian driver, up and actually back down into 9th. And Justin White up 7 positions. Justin on the move, residing right now in that 10th spot.
Yeah, so again, big mover here for Thomas Neveau, and much needed if he wanted a shot at this win. His Nash Motorsports Kart Republic looking really strong here. He's trying to close into Nick Bruckner. Again, great start. Then Ryan Vincent, and Vincent was on his tail with 3 Nash Motorsports drivers, 6th, 7th, and 8th, trailing the Orsolon Racing Tony Kart of Nick Bruckner. For those of you NASCAR fans tuning in to find your William Byron update, he unfortunately has had an issue here and did not get a great start. He is down in 26th at the moment. Towards the front half of the field here, though, as they'll cycle on by. Thomas Neveau, again, working his way through the bus stop.
I believe William had started, 15th position, I believe?
Yeah.
Is that going to be his starting position when he...
Something around that here.
Something obviously must have happened, because to drop him all the way down to the very last driver here.
For Byron?
Yeah.
No, he was starting a little bit deeper in the
field. Was he further?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. William Byron, just a learning week for him. Again, this is, he's a rookie in this discipline of racing. They're up this way, coming in against a lot of drivers who have come up through the ranks, learning, in this discipline of motorsport, and have plenty of years on him. He just doesn't have the time. So for William Byron here, NASCAR Cup Series, Hendrick Motorsports front-runner NASCAR Cup Series race winner, to move over to this level of motorsport, to this completely separate and at the same time related and launching pad. I mean, obviously you can start in karting much younger than you can get by the wheel of a car. So
That's
you see
sure.
Every single car driver comes out of karting. It's a one-way street, though. Not every car driver has done karting or goes over to it. So, but at least behind the wheel of the Senior Rock package, and it's really, really cool for our sport again to have some big names, from some well-recognized series running, and again, it's a humbling experience. For Kyle Larson, wins the NASCAR Cup Championship, struggled to kind of break the top 20, was very impressive for his first ever race weekend in a kart, and I know that everyone at Speed Concepts Racing really loved having him around, as we see Mateus Morgado come by, but even for Kyle Larson, who is renowned as a guy who can go fast than anything, just a completely different driving style it takes to go fast in a single-speed racing kart, just trying to get into the top 15.
You're so right, Jenner, to think that somebody like a Will Power goes out there and races with all these kids and ends up only in the top 10.
Right, and that was his goal. Yes, he was open about it. He's like, these guys, if I get to the top 10, I'll be happy.
And listening to him talk to some of the other drivers, the other race car drivers along with, I believe it was Hinchcliffe, whomever had traveled with him, I remember him saying that these are the best drivers because they were ending up so far back down the order. Realize a little bit different discipline here than it is maybe driving a...
It's just different. I mean, you put Mateus, not to knock on Mateus Morgado here, Marian Kremers, Alessandro DiTilio, which just traded spots for third. I mean, you put them in William Byron's Cup car, I bet William Byron's going to run laps around him. But that said, he comes over here to our world, and it's just different. That's all it really comes down to. So with 4 laps to go, I believe actually maybe working 3 laps to go here, Marian Kremers gotten by DiTilio. This time no contact. Of course, they got a little bit of controversy.
Yes, they did.
In heat number 1. Good run here in the pre-final for Kremers. He's looking to start on the inside of row number 2. That would be crucial here for his main event as he closes towards Diego Ramos, not far up the road, and they've definitely dropped Nick Bruckner. Bruckner has fallen behind Thomas Naveau. They'll come on through the hairpin just behind them. So Naveau now into 5th. Again, major improvement for Thomas here in the pre-final to come forward, and he's running last. I believe that should put him right on pace with where he needs to be to contend for a race win.
Oh, no doubt. In that top couple, right now sits in that second position. Diego, a fine young driver.
Yeah, it was not a great ending to 2021. I mean, Diego Ramos, I think, really after the Supercarts USA Winter Nationals in New Orleans, he and the Racing Edge Motorsports guys could never really seem to find the stride for the American races they came down to. But last weekend, onto the podium here along with Morgado and Homestead, and now finds himself, again, P2, just wanting to get a little closer to his Brazilian buddy in Morgado. Double 6 in the air here for the pre-final. He should be safe, but Marian Kremers, a couple of kart lengths away, should close in. And, I talked a lot about, one driver hard in the wall. Santiago Fernandez has pounded the barrier on the outside of turn number 2. The Alessandro's Racing Tony Kart driver is out here. Your second, third, and fourth battle.
Última volta, G.
Was here. Was he going around to the bus stop? I thought he was around in turn number 1. No, he was around the bus stop.
Out of the bus stop right over here.
Yeah, so the leaders having to work their way by him. We've also got an update on Jeremy Fletcher here as the white flag begins to wave, or did for a moment. We'll try and pick him up. He is obviously playing catch.
Final lap.
With Adam Ali just up the road, and it's unfortunate for Fletcher. Their race engine did not make it here in time, got trapped in shifting. It's currently in St. Louis, Missouri. So, while they're not only fighting, back uphill after that wreck here at the start of the main pre-final, they're kind of fighting with one arm behind their back a little bit with their primary engine not making it here to Pompano Beach, Florida. One driver who is
Última volta, G.
is not fighting with one arm behind his back, or at least doesn't look like it. Mateus Morgado, though, out of the final turn. He will cruise to the pre-final win and rock here. Diego Ramos second, Kremers third, DeTulio fourth. Let's go on.
Diego Ramos second. Esse é meu sobrinho.
On through here.
Nash up a couple spots, ends up in 7th. Ryan Benson in the 8th position. Justin White, 8th position change for Justin, now in the 9th position. And Jack Jeffers, the 3-1, will round out our top 10. Again, congratulations. Matias Morgado, the Brazilian driver, takes the victory here at pre-final in our senior rockers.
Well, that'll give us the opportunity to take a quick commercial break. We'll see if maybe we can get a couple post-race interviews, talk with some of our...
Isso aí, Di. Parabéns, Di.